Inspiration 1390, Angela Martin.
Yes, Pastor Hannah.
Got a ball on the phone.
Yes, we do. I'm so happy to talk to him. Good morning, Tavis Smiley.
Good morning, Angela. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing the best I can. Pastor Hannah, how are you, sir?
You always doing it, Brian. You try to be so humble with it. I'm doing the best I can.
With what I got.
With the few necessities that I have.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do.
So listen, March 26th is an important date for you with PBS. You have something coming out called Education Under Arrest.
Yeah, we do. It's a primetime special. I've been fortunate and blessed over these 10 years. We're now celebrating our 10th season on PBS.
Congratulations.
And thank you. In May 24th, as a matter of fact, in just a few months, we'll be broadcasting our 2,000th show. So 10 years, 2,000 shows, a long time. But over the course of that 10-year period, PBS has asked me repeatedly to do a number of primetime specials about issues of interest to me. And so I've been doing a series of primetime specials about education, and this one is specifically called, as you mentioned, Pastor Hannah, Education Under Arrest. It's essentially about the school-to-prison pipeline.
Wow.
That is engulfing so many of our children. 1 out of every 3 teenagers who is arrested in our society is arrested at school. School ends up being the primary source for putting these kids in that school-to-prison pipeline, disproportionately kids of color. And what we really discover in this documentary is that zero tolerance, which came into effect after the Columbine shooting, this notion of zero tolerance just doesn't work. We don't expect adults to live lives of zero tolerance, but we expect kids to be, mature enough to engage a concept called zero tolerance. That means you can't be a kid, because being a kid means making a mistake. But the bottom line is this: the thing, I know John Hannah never got in trouble, Angela, when he was in school, but the stuff that I used to get in trouble
under the blood. Go ahead.
The stuff that I used to get in trouble for and be sent to the principal's office for will now land you in front of a judge.
Wow.
With a criminal record, and we're throwing our kids away in our society.
So in this documentary, you actually talked to some young people that are locked up in Spokane, correct?
Yeah, we talked to young people in Spokane. We traveled to 5 states, as a matter of fact. For the previous special, which was called Too Important to Fail, I called it that because if these banks are too big to fail, our kids are too important to fail. So the previous special, we spent a lot of time in Chicago, went to Urban Prep and a lot of other places in Chicago for that special. But this one, we traveled to about 5 or 6 different states and cities, and so we saw kids of all colors, of all races, of all ethnicities. Again, disproportionately, they look like us. But when you see these kids on lockdown, you say to yourself, there's got to be a better way. I mean, look, consider this, for example. One of the primary reasons kids end up in front of judges with criminal records is for truancy. Here's what I've never understood, and we get into this in the special. The punishment for skipping school is that we kick you out of school.
That's true. Or we send you to an alternative school that we don't even care if you go there or not.
Exactly. And some of these alternative programs work. Many of them, some of them don't. But we found programs around the country, alternative schools, to your point, that do work. And the question is, how do we scale this up? You mentioned Spokane, Washington. We went there because most of the kids there in trouble are white, and a whole bunch of Negroes running around the state of Washington. This is Washington State, not Chocolate City, Washington, D.C. So we went there, and we saw a bunch of white kids in the same kind of trouble you see black kids in trouble on the south side of Chicago. So it's not just a black or brown thing, but the state of Washington is making a lot of progress on this issue, I think more than any other state. So I wanted to go to a state that was handling the problem and find out what works and feature that as well, so we can scale up the things that are helping these kids get out of trouble and get on the right track.
Okay. So, Tavis, you are coming to Chicago, right?
Coming to Chicago.
April 6th?
Yeah, I'll be there. Yes, I'm always looking for any excuse to come to Chicago. so this TV special we just talked about, Education Under Arrest, airs at 7 p.m. on the PBS station at WTTW. It airs at 7 o'clock in Chicago on Tuesday night, March the 26th. And shortly after that, to Angela's question, April the 6th, I'll be back in Chicago for a big symposium we're doing. As you know, over the years, I've done these symposiums, State of the Black Union, and I'm doing one this time with our Latino brothers and sisters. I mean, their issues their issues are our issues. Their issues are our issues, and I'm continuing to do all the work that I've always done. But this one is unique because I'm coming to talk specifically to Latino leaders. So some of the biggest names in the Latino community are joining me in Chicago for an all-day.
All right, if you need someone to translate for you, I do speak Spanish. ¿Cómo está usted? That's it.
That's all you got?
That's it.
Yeah, all right.
I think you better have a backup.
I can get you in the door, bro. That's about it.
Yeah, as always, I'm praying for you. You just moved up higher on my prayer list.
All right, so we're excited. March the 26th, which is a Tuesday, on PBS.
Right.
I was a juvenile probation officer before, a pastor or radio personality, so I know the issues, and I'm just glad that you're addressing it.
And also Latino Nation at Chicago State University, April 6th. You can see Tavis there at 8:30 in the morning.
You got it. Love you both.
All right,
we
buddy.
love you too. Come by and see us when you come in, okay?
You know I will.
All righty.
Don't lock the door and not let me in now.
Oh, no. We have an open door policy for you. You know that.
You know how John Handy is. He may lock the door and not let me in.
I got to check you, man. I got to make sure you ain't got no pistols on you.
I'll open the door for you, Tavis.
Love you, Angela.
Love you too.
Take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.
1390.